I've been secretly planning to divorce my husband for years. He just won't change.
That's not plan A or B or C. That's plan D.
For divorce.
For divorce.
My husband, 27 male, and I, 29 female, have been married for 7 years this year. We have 2 little girls, 7 and 1, as well as 2 pets we treat as our children, a cat and a dog. It all started after I found out I was pregnant. By the way, this comes from WinterFreedom6229 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So he was messaging another girl who was calling him babe, but wasn't putting up boundaries, saying she's just a best friend. I was fine with her being a friend, and I just asked for boundaries and for a place to send her baby shower invite since we were having a co-ed baby shower. He refused and promptly cut off contact. After the birth of our oldest, I found Facebook messages to this girl saying he missed her and wanted to be with her. After she congratulated him in a very platonic manner on the birth of his first child. He also had many pictures of female friends in his phone for inspiration. Not even dirty pictures, just pictures from social media. He didn't think this was wrong, but later admitted there was wrongdoing from him, but promised it would never happen again. Fine. I got pissy being young. I was 23, he was 21 at the time. He began drinking heavily at this point. He wasn't violent wasted, but he was stupid. Remember this for later. Finally, we get our own place. After living with his sister or my parents off and on for 4 years, he gets wasted and messages the same girl from before that he is unhappy in his marriage and wishes he was with her. Now, they were never more than friends ever. She didn't see him that way, ever. She told me this at a later date because, as it turns out, she was trying to talk this wasted through why he feels this way and how he can repair the marriage. Shout out to Elena. She's a girl's girl. He confessed, and eventually we decided to move on from it. But at this time, I finally told my friends what he's been doing. So all of this was in secret. And they had been encouraging me to leave him, which you should.
Good friends.
Even finding guy friends to fake me cheating with so I could leave. Husband found out, hates my friends again, and we decided to move on from there. After these events in October 2022, I decided to stop drinking entirely. I still rarely drink, and if I do, it's 1 drink after dinner. A little red wine.
Nice and refined.
Yes. During this time, I also started talking to an ex who moved to another country. It started platonically, but it turned to more. So I decided to cut it off. A month later, I'm pregnant with baby number 2. This is the 1-year-old. Husband did not know at the time about the other guy, this guy that she was platonic with. Let's call other guy Tommy. Hold this thought. We moved in with my parents for a month, waiting on our new apartment. I wake up one night after he got insanely wasted to see he created a fake social media page and downloaded a texting app to message my mom.
Oh, going straight to the source.
I mean, at least he has a type, you know?
Keeping it in the family.
Keeping it in the family, you know.
Is that polite?
He loves some attributes of you so much, he just wants to go upstream. So, for context, my parents are open swingers.
Oh my God.
They have been since I was at least 13, and I have met their partners through the years. They're all nice. Only one was kind of creepy, but it was just his looks. He's cool. Back to the story.
It's unbelievable.
My parents are open swingers, and my mom will do guys without my dad there. So this was extra weird. We already signed the new lease at this point. We agreed that if anything new happens, we'll get a divorce because this clearly isn't working if we keep hurting each other. Well, a month after moving in, he found the messages with Tommy. I told him it was wrong of me, absolutely, but it was long enough ago now I forgot it happened, but he had every right to be mad. We moved on from this too since it was before we signed a new lease. Now in August in 2023, I found pictures of my mom and her friends on his phone in a folder. Worst of all, they weren't pictures sent to him. He got them off my parents' computer when he was there working on his car alone. I was beside myself. I couldn't believe my husband wants my mom that bad. I asked if he had mommy issues considering he lost his mom. I asked him if he wanted separation because this keeps coming up. I was his first everything, and he was 18 when we first started talking and eventually dating. He swore, no, not at all. Previously, his indecisions were when he was wasted. Not an excuse, but still. But this one, taking my mom's pictures from her computer, he was sober.
So I'm going to clear this up really quick for all the people, especially like this. It's like he gets stupid when he's drunk. He actually doesn't, because people don't lose intelligence when they drink. What they lose is inhibition. He's aware of the consequences of his actions, and he's aware of what he's saying and what he feels. He just doesn't care about the consequences anymore.
We were tied to the lease now until December 2024 because we were stupid and re-signed early. So August 2023, found the pictures over a year in the lease to go. I said, screw it. We will deal with it for now. But the pictures came back in January 2024. He can't explain how they're back. As of January 2024, husband started drinking 12 packs 4 to 7 days a week. One morning in April 2024, I woke up frustrated with my oldest and yelled at her for making a mess before she had to go to school. When I say yelled, I scolded her. It wasn't screaming. She told me the mess was from dad, husband, the previous night. So as I apologized for raising my voice, husband starts screaming at me for blaming the 7-year-old.
Scream at yourself, husband.
I see husband close up and he's clearly still intoxicated, bloodshot eyes, and smells of booze. I told him to lower his voice because he was screaming at me in front of both kids. And that wasn't okay. I told him I would take the baby to daycare. And when I went to get dressed, he took off with the baby. I was sobbing, worried, and I saw her checked in on the daycare app. The oldest was sobbing because daddy screamed at mommy. It was bad enough the school called that afternoon and tell me the oldest was having big feelings about it. But earlier that day, I finally took my friend's advice and called a divorce lawyer, Plan D, in action.
God.
That time. It would be about $1,700, but that's how much we owe to the IRS now. So it's going to have to wait. When husband got home that day, he apologized, and I told him I called a divorce lawyer and I was serious. We never really talked about this moving forward because he didn't have anything to say about it. Every answer was, I really don't know why I did that. He helps me, of course, with the bills, but when I ask, sometimes double ask. He's a good dad, but he frustrates me with how he talks to the girls, like telling my oldest she had an older sister who was lost because she wouldn't hold our hand in the parking lot, and thinking her reaction is funny. So now we're looking for a new apartment, but the finances usually come down to me. All the bills are paid out of my account. He's on my account, but doesn't know how to get in it. I'm actually looking into a place I can afford on my own, so after we move, I can file for divorce. I finally told my mom everything, and while at first she was against us divorcing, she understands why and how he pushed the line, and in her version, comforted me, told me I don't do men who don't have permissions from their wives. But if you gave me permission...
Mom's got standards.
You told me.
What? And husband is too young for me anyway.
I feel like that's not the moment to make it about you, though, as the mom. Where you're like, I mean, don't worry, because I would never. I mean, here's my rules. It's like, I'm not asking you for your sweeter rules, Mom. I need support in this moment. I'm telling you, which it basically sounds like this is like a secret she keeps to herself, and nobody knows that this is what her home life is like.
Yeah, well, at
She's
least
like, I finally told my mom everything. It's like nobody knows her story.
Am I the a-hole for secretly still planning to divorce my husband? I want everyone to respond to the fact that every weekday we go live 3 p.m. PST on Facebook and YouTube. Probably live right now, so come join. But there's another relevant update. But is OP the a-hole here?
No, you are not.
You are not.
There's no way you could be.
But we got a little bit more to the story. So edit, I'll be going to therapy session number 5 this week. I took a loan out of my 401k, paid all outstanding bills in our names, and now I'm ready to move. My lawyer has sent me paperwork, also going low to no contact with my parents, as they both agree that since I've talked to husband and he wants to change, I should keep an open mind. It's not like he hits me or the girls when he's wasted. But both agree that since I've talked to husband and he wants to change, I should keep an open mind. It's not like he hits me or the girls when he's wasted. So I might even move out of the state. Who knows? But it won't be with any of them. There is another edit. I finally said my piece and acknowledged the problems I brought to my life, and also acknowledged how I have stayed complacent with this ish, which I think is completely, you have. I mean, I think that's a good thing to recognize.
Self-awareness.
I'm working on my codependency issues and setting up better, more firm boundaries with all relationships? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, dude.
Do that.
Now
but
you're on the right track.
But also, Like when you have such terrible relationships all around you, like your family's terrible, your partner's terrible, maybe your friends are not good too. Like you don't really have any point of reference to understand what good relationships look like.
Yeah, that really that seems like an accurate
Yeah.
depiction, especially after the parents being like, oh, he said he wants to change, which is not the
Yeah,
same thing as
that's
changing,
changing.
by the way. That's not what that is. I can say I want to change right now, but until I do something about it, I'm not changing. And then she's like, yeah, well, even though he's like wasted all the time, what? It's not like, well, come on.
Come on.
It's like,
He's a fun drunk, you know?
yeah. What?
He
Oh,
goes
so
and hacks on my computer and
he-
gives my little pictures a little like,
and he
you
drives around drunk with your kids.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a real winner to me.
know? Yeah,
It's
he
like,
stays within the lines most of the time.
yeah.
You know?
He squints.
He squints.
Yeah, whatever.
He
It's
drives slow.
Unacceptable. So you're definitely going to have to find your support system outside of your parents.